Our emotional resilience workshop has been delivered to 2,000 children from all types of backgrounds. This short video will give you an idea of what the session is going to look like. But if you want to run it yourself, and we really hope that you do, then you need to read the Comprehensive Teacher's Guide. That will tell you exactly what to expect at each stage. The workshop is about three main things. Firstly, it's about giving children a clear definition and understanding of what emotional resilience is.
But what's special about this elastic band, which maybe other objects don't do as well?
It stretches.
It stretches, and then most importantly, after it stretches, it goes back to how it was before. Yeah? So in order to get us kick-started, we're going to share a definition so I know that we all understand the concept.
Secondly, it's about helping children understand that all people face tough challenges. And third, and most importantly, it's about giving them some practical advice and strategies for building emotional resilience. The first half of the session is given over to doing practical activities. These activities have been designed to be fun and engaging, but also to stretch and frustrate the children. There are 4 activities, and after each activity, the children are asked to reflect on their experiences and record their emotions during the activity. They have been designed so that no child ever gets 100% in all 4 activities. That's important because these activities have been designed to model the real world. And in the real world, we're good at some things, less good at other things, and nobody ever finishes absolutely everything they start.
The reason I want you to do those challenges is because you might not have realised it, but those challenges represent the rest of your lives. Did you understand that when you were doing it? You got a sense for that? You're like, oh, these represent the rest of my lives. That's obvious, that's very clear. They do, because what's going to happen over the rest of your lives is you are going to face a series of different challenges, okay? And you won't always know they're coming. Sometimes they'll just happen. Just overnight or in an instant, you'll just be faced with this challenge that's put in front of you, and you have to figure out how to deal with it.
After the activities, the class comes back together and the children are encouraged to share their feelings. Most children will have had a mixture of positive and negative emotions. For example, one activity may have made them feel proud, whilst another activity made them feel frustrated.
Teamwork, how does that make, teamwork's a great word. Is teamwork a feeling? I mean, how do you feel when you're working as a team? Probably in the good, confident, great one. Because you've got the power of 4 people behind you. Tense, very good word. Which is, tense is in the similar area to sort of nerve-wracking and nervous, isn't it? Anybody else?
Confused.
Confused, very good word. Which normally, confusion often leads to stress, and because people don't really like to feel confused, do we? So it can make us turn annoyed and then eventually angry, right? That normally confused for a bit, then angry, yeah?
The idea here is to show children that life isn't black and white, and that we often experience a range of different emotions within the same experience. Next, we move very much into the real world by discussing the types of challenges that children face in their daily lives. The children are asked to reflect on their own experiences and write down some challenges that they have faced.
Well, when I was little, about 3 or 4, one of my dogs died before I was born, and one died when I was like 3. So I was quite upset, so I took about a year to get.
Did you love your dogs? Okay, so thank you. I think probably is a great example of the biggest challenge that any of us face, right? Which is losing people that we love. Now, it's not just people that we love, we can also love horses and dogs and animals too, okay? But losing people is probably our biggest challenge. That doesn't always mean that people died, although it does happen. That could be our parents separate and we don't get to see one of our parents as much as we used to or at all. It could mean that our aunties and uncles move to another country and we don't get to see them. So losing people can happen in many different ways, okay? But it is probably the biggest challenge we face.
Now we are finally ready to talk about emotional resilience. And whilst it's a big topic, we have broken it down into 5 simple areas. First up is honesty. This is about getting children to be honest about how they are feeling, both with themselves and with other people. Next up, we have understanding. This is about teaching children that certain situations will naturally make them feel a certain way. For example, when people are hungry, they naturally feel grumpy. We can't always change the way we feel, but we can change how we act. And that brings us on to our third point, which is about control. This is about getting children to understand that often when we act on our emotions, we end up creating bigger problems for ourselves in the future. For example, you get into a fight in class and you end up in detention.
So if we can't control our emotions, what can we control? You can control our actions. And, little secret to life, controlling your actions is really the most important part. There are going to be times in your life where you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'm a bit annoyed, I'm a bit bored, I'm a bit angry, I'm a bit this, bit whatever. That's fine, everybody feels like that sometimes. What we can't do is act on all our emotions as they happen, can we? We can't just punch people that annoy us. We can't just in the middle of a lesson go, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored, or whatever. Our life becomes horrible. We get put in detention, we get our PlayStations taken away, all this kind of stuff, right? If we can't control our emotions, we can control our actions.
We talk to children about using breathing exercises to remain calm under pressure. Next up, we talk about learning from every experience. And this is really important because if we can truly take something from every experience, then nothing we ever do will be a failure.
Now, if you choose to, you can learn from every experience. Every maths test that goes wrong, every argument you get in with your brother, every game of Fortnite that you lose or whatever is an opportunity to learn and to improve. It is up to you whether you take those opportunities or not, but those people that do will go much, much further because every mistake they make will make them slightly better going forward.
At this point, the children are asked to reflect on the 2 challenges they wrote down earlier and try and draw 2 lessons from those experiences. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, we talk about gratitude. Gratitude has been shown to be the single most important factor in developing a positive outlook for children. To a large extent, it doesn't really matter how much we have. What matters is how grateful we are for the things that we do have. At this point, we talk about gratitude journals, which are a brilliant way for children to begin to develop an optimistic outlook. And the best part is they work really well as a class activity and only take 90 seconds at the end of the day. The session ends by telling children where they can go for help. And that's it. We really hope that you run the session in your own school and you find it a meaningful experience. So read through the guide, watch this video, and if you have any questions, just give us a call or drop us an email. This session was developed as part of the Striker Boy campaign, which was set up in memory of former primary school teacher Johnny Zucker, who sadly took his own life in 2016. If you'd like to find out more about the Striker Boy campaign, visit www.strikerboy.com.